You think nobody's watching you and you just need to be a good person just because you want to be a good person. You go sit in that Ellen jail over there right now.
So since the stories around Ellen being awful are blowing up online, we thought we'd look into some other celebs that have a past of being mean in real life. And let me tell you, some of these are insanely shocking. So I guess buckle up and get ready for all your thoughts around some of the biggest celebs in the world to change forever. Hey, what's up, Iowers? It's Mackenzie here, and today on the channel, I'm gonna be spilling some piping hot tea by filling you in on 10 celebrities that are mean in real life. And before I get into it, I did want to say that there's no real proof that any of these stories are true. So take it with a grain of salt and use these to come to your own conclusions about the celebrities that I'm going to talk about. And of course, celebrities do have bad days just like the rest of us. So there is a potential that some of these stories could be like one-offs. But with some of these, I can pretty confidently say that they are just all around bad people. So starting off with number 10, we have James Corden. James Corden is a TV host that seems incredibly nice on camera, but he's also pretty well known for being awful off-set. His rep is so bad that he did a Reddit AMA in 2019 and it practically turned into a roasting session, with tons of people bringing up terrible encounters they had with Corden. One user reminded everyone about the time that Corden showed up to a private Writers Guild meeting to advocate for lower pay for TV writers, even though they're known for being paid pretty low wages already. Another brought up how he saw the filming of A League of Their Own live, and he said he saw Corden throw multiple tantrums over very minor things. He also said that he got angry when fans politely asked for photos. Another Redditor spilled some major tea on some of the other late night hosts, along with Corden, saying, "I have an acquaintance who came over for dinner who had been on the writing staff for several late night shows, and he said that James Corden is an ass. Jimmy Fallon isn't fun to be around because he's a hopeless alcoholic, and that Jimmy Kimmel is a genuinely sweet, kind person." So yeah, there seems to be a lot of people pretty adamant that Corden's TV persona is completely fake. Next up at number 9, Bill Nye. Okay, so this one's incredibly shocking, and there's a part of me that's praying that it's not true, but also I don't think this commenter has any reason to lie. So one Reddit user wrote on a thread talking about good celebrities that they had an interaction with. One user said, "Bill Nye. Granted, in the last few years, he's revealed himself as a self-centered jerk, but I'm reminded of a story from a podcast a few months back. A girl was working retail at a clothing store and Bill Nye walks in. He ends up at her register and she says something to the tune of, 'Hi Bill, I just wanted to say I appreciate what you did for getting kids into science. I grew up watching your show.' Then Bill replied, 'And look where that got you.' And when I tell you, my jaw has literally never dropped so far." This is just so insane to me because he seems so nice on his show and so many kids have grown up idolizing him, including myself, to be honest. So to hear that that could just all be a lie is really, really sad. Like, I feel like I just ruined Santa or something. It's really, really, really unfortunate. Comment down below if you grew up watching Bill Nye. Like, I used to love him before I had to report that story. Then in at number 8, Adam Brody. So YouTuber Gabby Hanna went full savage in a video she did with Joey Graceffa called Rudest Celebrities We've Met. In the video, she explains how she was asked and paid to go to an event for a new TV show that was starring Adam Brody so that she could go and make Vines with him for promotion. And this was back when Vine was massive and Gabby was getting tons of views on the platform. So she goes to the event, and when she meets him, he already seems like very reluctant to do the Vine with her, and when he asks for her ideas, she gives him her best idea and he savagely replies, "What else do you have?" Ooh. So at this point, she was freaking out, but she did come with 3 ideas, so she gave the other 2, which he also was not interested in. He even at one point said to her and his team, "I don't really want to do that." So after refusing to do a simple 6-second Vine with her, they didn't end up collaborating. But she did get some sweet revenge. When an interviewer at the event asked Gabby later on, "You just met Adam Brody, how do you feel?" she looked confused, acting like she didn't know who he was. Then she pretended to remember and said, "Sorry, I've never seen The Hills." To throw some shade because Adam Brody and The Hills star Brody Jenner were constantly getting mixed up because of their similar names. In at number 7, Alicia Keys. So this is another one from a Redditor on a thread talking about rude celebs. This one was about Alicia. "I worked security at a local concert venue for over 10 years, and she was hands down the meanest artist that I rubbed elbows with. One night I was asked to stay late and work a meet and greet in the catering trailer after her show. I stood next to Alicia and her assistant at the time, guessing around 2006, while she met a group of fans one by one. time. Each fan gave her gifts and flowers and had roughly 30 seconds to say hello. Being so close, I was able to hear every word she said to her assistant, and it wasn't pretty. She basically badmouthed the entire group. She had something negative to say about almost everyone's outfits and appearance. Considering how long ago it was, here's to hoping that she has grown up since then. Wow, yeah, I'm hoping that she has changed since then, because making fun of fans that waited and probably paid to meet you in a meet and greet just seems like the most disgusting thing ever, honestly. Like, that's probably the lowest thing, to make fun of your fans and the people that support you. I don't know. Then next up at number 6, Usher. So another Redditor spoke about Usher, saying, I met Usher at a party once. One of the rudest and most diva-like people I have ever met. Made small talk with him about his time in the country. We were both visiting the UK at the time, and mid-conversation, he asked what made me think I could approach him. Keep in mind, we were both guests of a mutual friend. The dress code was black tie, and he rocked up in a t-shirt and hoodie. Another dude asked for a picture with him, and he was like, how about you go get another drink instead, and walked off. This was on the street then, for sure, but again, this was at a party where literally everyone was taking selfies. The guy who threw the party found out and had a few words with him. He stayed about 30 minutes and then left. Like, bro, just don't show up if you're not gonna have a good time. I've since spoken to more people who have met him, and this seems to be normal behavior. Yeah, this just seems ridiculous. Like, how on earth could anyone think that they can say, what made you think you could approach me? If this is true, Usher is straight up horrible, and I'm hoping this is part of his karma, because this is just wild and gross. Then up at number 5, Julia Roberts. So another one from Reddit, but this one was actually backed up by a ton of other commenters. So this seems pretty legit to me. A user said, I worked on a photo shoot with her, and all I gotta say is wow. From the moment she showed up to the moment she left, screaming at everyone about everything. An absolute B to the nicest people who didn't do anything to deserve it. Apparently that's how she always behaves when there's no cameras on her. Lost every ounce of respect I had for her that day. And then someone replied under that, it's pretty well known that Steven Spielberg hates her because she was a pain in the ass to work on the set of Hook. She was in her early 20s at the time and acted like a spoiled little brat. I guess she never grew out of that. And wow, Julia Roberts? I guess I can't watch Eat, Pray, Love the same way again? That's like one of my all-time favorite movies. Ugh, Julia. Julia, that is just something. Next up at number 4, Jerry Seinfeld. So this one's about Seinfeld, whose whole brand is about being likable, down to earth, and clean with his comedy. One user wrote, Seinfeld came into a restaurant I bartended at for an interview for a magazine. He was a regular for us. When he came in, he'd act like someone of his caliber. Wants to eat as soon as he can and then duck out. When people noticed him, he'd wave and keep it pushing. No one ever bothered him because everyone knew him from the neighborhood. On the particular day that he comes in to do his interview, he tells his server, the same girl who always serves him, to F off when she comes to do her how's everything going for you round. She'd only come up that one time after the food was dropped off. The interview stopped there. Interviewer got up and left. Seinfeld throws his hands up and leaves shortly after. Nothing appeared to be off before, during, or after in terms of his behavior. It took everyone by surprise, including Ron Howard, who had just finished his meal. Okay, so I have so many questions about this one. Firstly, why would he be such an ass at a restaurant that he goes to frequently? That doesn't make any sense. And also, he clearly gives no shits if he was gonna be that rude in front of a reporter. Like, what if the reporter decided to include that in whatever interview that they were doing? Also, shout out to that reporter for not having any of that and just leaving. They must have been someone pretty high caliber to have the guts to do that and just leave Seinfeld, but props to them. And then lastly, the part about Ron Howard just being surprised was hilarious. I can just picture him in the restaurant like giving the biggest side eye while eating. Oh my god. Next up at number 3, Demi Lovato. Okay, so this one's really messed up and slightly dark, so I just want to warn you guys. Another commenter wrote, a few years ago, I was with a coworker friend and Demi Lovato was at an event near where we worked. Now, I did not and still don't care about her, but my friend was so over the moon for her and went on about how she had her book, how Demi got her to stop cutting, and so on. Demi walks our way and my friend starts to say things like, oh my god, you got me through my depression, and Demi made a face, rolled her eyes, and walked around us. It broke my friend's heart. She never mentioned Demi after that. Okay, I'm really hoping this one is not true because Demi's always been such an ally of mental health struggles and she speaks so openly about her past with depression. It's really upsetting that she would just ignore that kind of comment from a fan. I'm really hoping that Demi was just busy here or didn't hear her correctly or something else that could excuse this, because this is truly, I'm not saying this commenter's lying, but wow, that is just seems so off-brand. That seems really, really strange, but I guess that's what these are all about. In at number 2, Jeff Daniels. So another user on Reddit wrote, Jeff Daniels is the guy from Dumb and Dumber. He lives right next door to my cousins and is very disliked in the community. He always assumes everyone will mob him and ask him for autographs or whatever, so he won't interact with anyone. He's lived next to my cousins for at least 15 years and he's only talked to them once or twice. My favorite anecdote is that my grandpa once sat next to him in a bar and tried to strike up conversation. Jeff Daniels was an ass and left. The bartender told my grandpa not to worry about it, he just doesn't like to talk to fans. And my grandpa was like, wait, who the heck was that? It turned out my grandpa had never heard of Jeff Daniels. He was just trying to be friendly. So this could almost sound like a case of someone that maybe doesn't realize that they're not famous anymore. Like, chill, not everyone knows who you are. And even if they did, it doesn't mean that they're gonna just drool over you and hound you for pictures or something. But if he's acting like that, he probably has kind of a shitty life anyway, so again, this might just be his karma. And finally, at number 1, Ellen. So if you watched Charlotte's recent video on Ellen, then you already know the tea on this. And I just gotta say, I was so happy to see that she was exposed because I've seen online for years that Ellen is terrible to her employees and acts like she's, above everyone. So I'm happy that this shows that karma is somewhat real and you can't just be terrible to people and think that no one's ever gonna notice. Like, people remember things, and now the internet, stuff can get out there pretty quickly. But the main things that Ellen was called out for was treating her employees like garbage, getting angry when they talked or even looked at her, and having an incredibly short temper when anything went wrong on set. And then that doesn't even come close to how she treated random strangers. Her behavior is so bad that she was even given the title of notoriously one of the meanest people in Hollywood. So if that doesn't tell you something, I don't know what does. If you want to know more of the details on her and all the stuff that she's done, go watch Charlotte's video. Okay guys, so that's all from me. Please tell me your thoughts on all this below, and I am dying to know if any of you or maybe someone that you know has ever had an interaction with any of these people that I mentioned, and if you did, was it positive or was it negative like I said in the video? Please spell the tea in the comments. I would love to hear. Even if you've had an interaction with another celebrity that's not on this list, please also let me know in the comments. I'm positive I can make a part 2 to this, so give me some ammo for that in the comments down below. And if you made it all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching. Maybe put a potato emoji in the comments or something if you made it this far, to let me know. Please like and subscribe down below if you want to see more videos like this, and follow the team on our socials to be kept up with our day-to-day lives during isolation. Mine's down below if you want to check it out. Thanks again for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next one.